Okay. Good morning. It's Monday, August 31st. Before we get started today, I just want to go through some expectations, talking about how this course works, because I spent hours this weekend processing work and trying to figure out who had turned what in and who hadn't. So if you're sitting in my room right now, if you'll just shut that computer lid and listen to me, and if you're at home, if you'll close all those other tabs and listen to me, I'm going to talk you through how this is supposed to work, this digital learning, because evidently there's still some people that are unclear. And a lot of you don't need to hear this. So if you don't need to hear it, I'm sorry, because you have all your work turned in, but a lot of people do need to hear it. So today is Monday. Before you can do anything on the list of assignments that I have shared on Canvas, you have to do class. You can do class 3 ways. You can sit here in the room while I teach. That's what these B kids are doing. You can live Zoom. That's what Gavin, Jalea, Jerry, Jordan, and Tyrus are doing. Or you can watch the video of class that after this class is over, I record and I post it on YouTube. Okay? I also am posting it on the assignment in case your YouTube stuff isn't working. Okay? So you have 3 options, but you have to watch me teach before you do any assignments. Okay? I cannot be here at school and process all the questions about the assignments when I haven't even had time to give directions yet. Okay, thank you. I cannot tell you how many people are emailing me asking me questions about the assignment for today, and I haven't taught yet at 8:50, at 9:10. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. So I have fixed now, it's okay. I have fixed assignments and announcements to not hit until 9 o'clock. I start teaching at 9:30. Okay, that gives you 30 minutes to wake up, get your breakfast, get logged in, make sure that you see all the announcements for classes, and then at 9:30, this class Zooms with me. That's my home room. Okay, if you're watching this video and it's later on in the day, that's fine. But you cannot complete the assignment for the day until you have heard the lesson for the day. What if the assignment is a practice for a lesson that I haven't taught? How would you do a practice when you haven't been taught the information yet? Watching class is an assignment, it's a requirement every single day. You can't just do the work. It does not work like that. Now, there will be days where my video is very short, like 5 minutes, and I just give directions. And I say, okay, it's test day, or okay, we're working on this assignment today, and you're just going to have class time to work on it. So my video will be very short. But you still need to watch that video so that you are able to know, to get directions. I may say something that I haven't put on Canvas. Is there any questions about how that works? You have to watch class every day. Then you do whatever the independent stuff is on Canvas. Okay? Now, if you missed stuff from last week, you need to go back and get it done on your own time. That means after you get done with what we're doing for class today, Or it could mean that you work on it tomorrow, whenever. I am going to be honest and say I can't keep taking late stuff. I processed graded work. I processed and graded work for hours this weekend and sent dojos and emails. I still have people that have not finished the iReady basic beginning of the year assessment. I still have people that have not created a journal and shared it with me. I still have people that when I log into their journal yesterday morning, I had my Diet Mountain Dew and I'm logged in, their journal was completely blank. Where's it at, guys? We do a bell ringer every single day. Okay, I'm going to step off my soapbox. Does anybody have any questions about any of that I just gave directions to? So starting class today, we're going to go through and have class, and then you're going to have time to do your independent stuff, which is today a quiz on what? The quiz today is on context clues. If you didn't watch any videos last week because you were or you were virtual, you didn't get the lesson. You might want to watch the video of me teaching context clues before you take the quiz. I would hate to think that I had to take a quiz on something that I hadn't been taught. I taught it last week. If you didn't watch the videos, then you're gonna have a hard time. Make sure that class every day is on your list of things to do. You have to log into Zoom or watch the video. All right, today's bell ringer. Today's bell ringer is capitalization. You were supposed to copy this anchor chart in your journal. Put today's date. You can open up your computers. Put today's date and then copy and paste. You can copy you can type out the notes, or you can just copy and paste the picture. But this needs to go in your digital ELA journal. When you do your digital ELA journal, you need to put the most recent at the top. So today, when you open up your journal, I'm going to open up an example. Look at this example. See how the newest date is here? So what she's going to do today is she'll add in. So as you scroll down, it gets older and older and older. So she's going to enter today. It's going to go right here. She'll click that down and put today's date, which is August the 31st, and paste in that picture. Okay? Raise your hand if you do not know how to do what I just gave directions for. You got your journal up? You already put in that picture with today's date? Okay, go to the top. And go right here. Click right there. Click enter. And go back up to today's date and put and you need to switch around the order when you have a chance. Do you understand what we're doing? Click on your journal. Go to the top. You haven't gotten anything from last week. Put today's date, and then you need to put that picture. You don't have it open. The bell ringer for today is not open. Put today's date. Open your journal. You need to get out of the header box and get into the actual journal. You can't type everything in the header box. You understand what we're doing? If you haven't done, put today's date. Do you understand? Put today's date. So this, it needs to be at the top. So this right here, I'm going to move it down to the next page so we can be at the top. You got stuff in the header box, which is making you up. Today's date is 8/31/20. You're going to put the picture here. Copy. Now tomorrow, you're going to come right here, put that on the next page. Tomorrow, you put 9/1/20, and that's where tomorrow's going. Put it up top. You got what? I'll go over top of the picture and click 2 fingers, copy, go back to where you want it. You get the top, this needs to go down, and then top right here, 8/31/20. Control V space, right here. Okay, any questions? All right, so your bell ringer for today is talking about when to capitalize words. You capitalize your months. My birthday is in June, it's capitalized. The letter I. The letter I is always capital. Names, that's what we talked about last week. Proper nouns, specific people, places, things. Titles, and the start of sentences. When I was looking at your suitcases, I thought you might need this lesson. There are a lot of people who did not put there are a lot of people who did not put capital letters in their sentences on their suitcase. Okay? Make sure this is in your journal, and we're going to shift to Bud Not Buddy. Go ahead and get out your Bud Not Buddy book. Turn to chapter 4. If you're reading it digitally, go ahead and open up that version. You're going to have to use the digital version. Did you get this in your journal? Here's your journal. ELA journal. In this picture, 2 fingers, copy, got your journal. This goes all the way down to the next page. Start at the top, 8/31. That's today's date. Control V. So where's your tomorrow going? the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the next page. I'm going to go ahead and put the date, 9/1/20. That's for tomorrow. You understand? Got it done? Go over top of it. Over top of the picture. Hover over top of the picture. Hover over top of the picture. Go on top of the picture. 2 fingers. Go back to your journal. Control V. No, I want it at the top. Is it on the top? That's where I want it. Every day I want the bell ringer for today to be at the top. So tomorrow that one will go down and the new one will go on top. Then that one will go down and the new one will go on top. Then that one will go down and the new one will go on top. Do you understand? All right, we're going to shift gears and go ahead and read your chapter for today. And then you can see that you have a quiz. We're in chapter 4. Then you're going to take your context clue quiz. Bud is going to get his revenge. That's what we ended at on Thursday. Page 31.
Chapter 5. Being on the land was a whole... When I blinked my eyes open, the first thing I noticed was that the light from the Amos's chapter 4. They hadn't locked the kitchen window. It slid open with just a couple of squeaks. Then I was inside the Amos house, crouched down like a cat burglar. Quick as a rabbit, I looked under the table to see if they'd moved my suitcase. It was still there. I got a whole lot calmer when I picked it up, and it was the right weight. I didn't think they'd taken anything out of it. I couldn't be sure until I looked inside, but I could do that later. I took in a deep breath and looked over at the icebox to see if the shotgun was still there. I let all the air out in a big puff when I saw it. Shucks, you'd think that with the Amoses being so doggone mean, they'd worry about leaving a big old shotgun like that out in the open. What if one of their visitors got real mad at them about something? I unlocked the back door and set my suitcase on the first step of the porch so I could make a quick getaway after I was through paying these Amoses back. I opened the screen door real quiet and went back into the house. Fair is fair. The Amoses deserve what they were going to get. I can't all the way blame Todd for giving me trouble, though. If I had a regular home with a mother and father, I wouldn't be too happy about other kids living in my house either. Being unhappy about it is one thing, but torturing the kids who are there, even though they don't want to be, is another. It was my job to make sure that other kids who didn't know where their mothers and fathers were didn't have to put up with Todd. My heart started jumping around in my stomach as soon as I reached out for the shotgun. It was a lot longer and heavier than I thought it would be. I lifted it and felt how solid the smooth brown wood was against my shoulder. With it up close to my face like this, I could smell the gray metal of the barrel and the gun oil Mr. Amos used on it. I aimed the gun at the stove and pretended I was shooting at an elephant or a dragon or a tiger or, best of all, Todd. I imagined how it would feel to creep up to his bed while he was sleeping and put the shotgun barrel right in his nose. After that, I'd have to do some quick moving to get the grown-up Amoses. Unless they were real sound sleepers, the shotgun going off in Todd's room would give them a clue that something was going on. I lowered the gun. These things were just too dangerous to play with or to take chances with. That's why the first part of my revenge plan was to get this gun out of the way. If something went wrong and the Amoses woke up, I didn't want them rushing down to the kitchen to get the gun. I knew they'd shoot me in a flash and tell the home it was an accident. I took the gun outside and put it on the back porch in a corner where they wouldn't be able to see it until daytime. I felt a lot better when it was out of my hands.
Why did he hide the gun? Why did Bud hide the gun? Lily? So he was afraid if they escaped, then they would find it, and then they would be coming after him and have that gun. Did it says it's fair that Amos deserved what they were going to get. What is his mindset here? Julie? Revenge. He's all about getting back at them. He thinks he's going to feel better when he's able to retaliate against them for treating him so badly and so wrong.
I was back in the kitchen. I started opening cupboards looking for the drinking glasses. The first one I opened had the jelly jar they'd given me to drink out of at supper time. I walked over to the sink and turned on one of the spigots. These Amoses had hot water running right into the house. I let it run for a second to warm up and put a dish rag in the bottom of the sink so the splashing wasn't too loud.
Why is it a big deal that they have hot water running there in the kitchen in the house? Okay. So he's grown up very what? Poor. He's grown up very poor, and it's the Great Depression. And the fact that somebody has running water in the house is a big deal, but running hot water in the house is even a bigger deal for this time period.
When the water was good and hot, I stuck the jelly jar underneath until it was filled to the brim. I started down the hall. Todd's door came open easy as anything. I tiptoed over to his bed. He was deep asleep, and his hands were crossed on his chest like he was ready for the graveyard. I dipped my middle finger in the water. It felt like the perfect temperature. I held my breath and picked up one of Todd's chubby hands. One of the older boys at the home told me if you dip someone's hand in a warm glass of water whilst they're asleep, they don't have any choice but to pee to bed. It's something about chemistry and biology, making some valve in your guts open up and whoop, zoop, sloop, you got a wet bed. I started to dip Todd's fingers in the water, but I couldn't dip more than 2 fingers at a time. Todd's bed stayed as dry as the desert. I tried holding Todd's hand flat and pouring water over it, but he still didn't wet the bed. Finally, I decided to just pour the water on his pajama pants. I pulled a blanket and sheeted him and emptied the jar. His face twitched a couple of times, and for a minute it looked like his eyes was going to come open, but they stayed shut. He smiled, and the warm water from the jelly jar opened that little valve up, and whoop, zoop, sloop, he soaked his sheets. I tiptoed out of the room and down the hall and out the door. My favorite saying in the whole world is, he who laughs last laughs best. So I put my hand over my mouth and whispered. I picked up my suitcase and walked to the street. Man, I was on the lam. I was just like public enemy #1. If J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI saw me now, I'd be in some real serious hot water.
Okay, what did he stuck? He stuck Todd's hand into the jelly jar with warm water in it, and what was he hoping that would cause? Reuben? He was hoping Todd would wet the bed. Did it work? Yes. Whoop, zoop, sloop. So Todd soaked his sheets. So it did work. He did pee to bed. And then Bud has now done what? He's left, right. He's left. He says he's on the lam. What does that mean? They've escaped on the run. Right, good. All right. We will pick up with chapter 5 tomorrow. All right, what you are going to do now is you are going to go to the assignment for today on Canvas, and you have 3 links depending on which class you're in. So if you're watching this video and you're not in my first block, you need to make sure you click on the right class, okay? You're going to use that link to click on The All in Learning CFA, it's a passage and 5 questions. It's all context clue type questions. Okay? Then you need to make sure that you do your exit ticket for today. The word of the day is
Shotgun.
lamb. L-A-M. Bud is on the lamb. L-A-M. On the lamb. So you need to get your all-in learning quiz done and your exit ticket done, and then I will see you tomorrow. If you have free time, do I ready? You need to have 45 minutes active by the end of the week. If you have questions, email me. Hopefully the all-in learning assessment is going to work. Bye.